Wow. Oh man. Somebody needs to help this brother out, man. Seriously, somebody look. If you guys are out there, you're on the social justice side of this debate. You're the side that thinks that the white man is the oppressor, and the black man's the oppressed, and and heterosexuals are the oppressed. If you're one of those guys that's on his side of this issue, you need to help your brother out here. He doesn't understand how the internet works. The internet doesn't work this way. Is there an evangelical social justice movement? Wow. This is a surprising move. This one is a surprise to me because I thought Thabiti was a little bit smarter than this. I really did. Not that I thought he was smarter than to pretend like he isn't part of something that he is. He obviously is in the social justice movement, obviously. But this is surprising. This is a strategic mistake. You see, when you don't want someone to look into something, just ignore it. You just have to ignore it. But when you respond to something and pretend like something doesn't exist that obviously does exist, it's just going to give the thing that exists much more play, much more attention. Look, guys, I have literally hundreds of videos on YouTube about the social justice movement in evangelicalism. Quotations, articles, video responses, funny videos, serious videos, angry videos, sad videos. I've got the whole gamut. It's all there. It's all there. And I'm not the only one. There's lots of people who have videos on YouTube, who have podcasts, who have articles, who have engagements of various types, talking about the movement of social justice in evangelicalism. And so to pretend like it doesn't exist, it's so stupid because it's. Have you ever heard of the Streisand effect? She wanted the Barbra Streisand effect. If you want something to get a lot of attention, try to get people to pretend like it doesn't exist. Try to get it taken down off the internet. Yeah, sure, that's gonna work. That's what a lot of these guys, they just need help. Like Al Mohler's got some things scrubbing some things off of his website. That's so stupid. It's just people are gonna know more about it if you scrub it from the website. That's just how it works. That's how it works. Oh man, there's you guys ever watched To Catch a Predator? It was a show on Dateline where they would set up stings to to catch pedophiles, right? So they would pretend to be kids on the internet, and then adults would come to this house, and then they would interview them and say, you're a pedophile, like things like that. Anyway, it was a great show, and it was all over YouTube. And then Chris Hansen started a new show, Hansen versus Predator, on YouTube. It was primarily a YouTube show. It wasn't on Dateline anymore. And recently, Chris Hansen has been going around trying to force people to take down their To Catch a Predator content off YouTube, which is the stupidest idea ever. He's supposedly trying to protect his brand, but the thing is, a lot of these videos, they're it's fair use, obviously, and all it does is give him negative attention and them more attention. That's all it does. It's so stupid. Anyway, someone needs to help Thabiti out, man, because my YouTube channel is probably about to get more hits than it's ever gotten ever before, because I've got a lot of videos on Thabiti himself and the various things that he's done. I've got a lot of videos on Eric Mason, who he quotes in this article. This is great. He does he really think you're this stupid? I've gotten so many emails of people that experience this whole social justice movement the exact same way I have. It's almost like it's like the Twilight Zone. It's like the Twilight Zone to a lot of people. They went to sleep one day, and then the next day, all of their favorite teachers were teaching weird things about social justice and oppressor oppressed and things like that. All this stuff, and it's documented. It's documentable. I've got hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel that are about to get a lot more hits because of this hilarious article. Is there a social justice movement? Are you serious? Oh man. Let's he makes it here as a conspiracy theory here. Now there's actually a serious part to this video too, because at the end of the day, Thabiti Anyabwile is he's slippery. me read you this introduction, because he's basically going to go after Tom Askell here. And I don't know if Tom Askell would want me to defend him here. Probably not. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy who wants to defend himself and things like that. He seems like a pretty, stand-up kind of guy. He won't wallow into the mire with Thabiti Anyabwile because that's just not the kind of guy that Tom Askell is. He's not that kind of guy. But let me just look at this. So when I first saw this, I was like, okay, he's trying to make the social justice movement almost like a conspiracy theory. That's what he's doing with this. This is from the X-Files. It's all about conspiracy theories. And read this first paragraph. Ready? Listen to this. Dr. Tom Askell is one of the chief spokespersons against social justice among conservative evangelicals in the United States. He is one of the framers of the social justice statement, and as executive director of Founders Ministries, has hosted or participated in a variety of conferences, podcasts, and blogs sounding the alarm against social justice. Arguably, Tom has invested as much or more energy in anti-social justice efforts as anyone. For that reason, I have chosen to interact with some of Tom's ideas in an effort to understand the question posed by the title of this post: Is there an evangelical social justice movement? Okay, and ready? Here, listen to this. Ready? I should note from the onset that Tom and I have known each other over a number of years. Our interactions, even in disagreement, have always been cordial and respectful. This is another reason I'm choosing to engage in his comments directly. This is a slippery little snake. We've always been cordial and respectful, as I'm about to call him a psychopath. A crazy person. This is a low-key way of calling Dr. Tom Askell insane. And not just Tom Askell, you as well. Me as well. And look, my mental state, the reality of my mental, let's go through my YouTube channel. I might not be, listen, I'm not saying I'm like the most normal person. You watch my dancing in the last video, you'll question my sanity. But listen, he's calling you crazy. He thinks you're crazy, and he's calling Tom Askell crazy. He's calling him a lunatic. Because he's saying, look, Tom Askell has dedicated a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of effort into being against a movement that does not exist. He is Don Quixote. He is Don Quixote. He's putting all this effort into something that's a fantasy. This is what Thabiti's saying. And he's trying to pretend like that's cordial and respectful. What color is the sky in your world, Thabiti? We're not stupid. I know you think we're stupid. I know your Gospel Coalition friends think we're stupid. But we're not. We know that that's not being cordial or respectful. You're about to write an article about how Tom Askell is a complete buffoon, an idiot. He's been putting all this effort and all this podcast, and he's making a movie all about something that does not exist. It doesn't exist. It's a conspiracy theory. You think we're stupid, but we're not stupid. You're not being cordial. You're not being respectful. And this is like we all know that the social justice movement within evangelicalism is a thing. We all know. It's documented 10 million times over. That's an exaggeration. 10 million, that's a lot. But man, I have a lot of views on my YouTube channel for me. Not comparatively, I do not. It's a small YouTube channel. I've only got a couple thousand subscribers. But people have watched my content a lot for me. We know that the social justice movement exists. People reach out to me, they email me, and they just wonder what has happened. We've all talked. It's like everyone flicked a switch, and all of a sudden they're talking social justice. And it's true. That's what it seems like to a lot of people. Now, here's the thing. We've documented this, and Thabiti wants you to pretend like it doesn't exist. He thinks that if he can just say enough times in as smooth a way as possible that it doesn't exist, that you'll believe him. But we know it does exist. We have eyes. We have ears. We can read. We can understand things. And the funny part is that a lot of people in the social justice movement admit this, that there is something different. They used to not think this way, and now they think this way. They used to... Remember Ligon Duncan with his pretend crying at T4G? Oh, I'm sorry, brothers. Like, he was saying in that speech, which, Thabiti, you liked that speech. He was saying, I used to not think this way, and now I do think this way. Something has changed. There is a movement afoot. There is a movement afoot. Obviously, So I'm not going to even worry about that. It's just, why would he want you to think there is no social justice movement? That's the question. Why does he want you to think this way? That's something that you should noodle with yourself. I don't know the answer to that. But this is so stupid. Someone's got to help his brother out. This is not how the internet works. This is not how the internet works. I cannot wait for all the sweet clicks and views that I'm going to get because of stupid stuff like this. Thabiti. Let's look at this, because so the conclusion of this article, you can read the whole thing. I recommend you reading it because it's interesting. But anyway, the conclusion of this article, he says, well, there's no social justice movement. Clearly, there's none. I know that you all see one. You all seen the evidence for it. You've read about it. You've heard about it. All this stuff. But there's nothing. That you're crazy. You're Don Quixote. But there is an anti-social justice movement. And then he defines movement. It's so great. Let's just read this. They have produced a statement written by a good number and written a good number of posts expositing the statement. They have called others to join their cause by signing a statement. They have held conferences and meetings expounding their goals and concerns. They spawned hours of podcasts and sermon series. They've developed their own lexicon replete with pejoratives and hashtags to mark out their perspective and the people who share it. They've sometimes sought to bring pressure on people and institutions. That is a movement. A couple things about this. I know I'm not the only one who has noticed this, but a couple things about this. Number one, what is the debate here? You're saying, that there's an anti-social justice movement. Okay, guilty. Right, I'm in a movement. Is that what the concern is? That the fact that there's a movement or not? No, that's not the concern. Why are you making something that's not the issue an issue? Whether or not there's a movement, the idea is that your ideas are terrible, Thabiti. You and your buddies, whether you've planned it or not, whether you've had secret meetings, which we know you have had, actually, by the way. We do know, we've documented this. We know you've had these kinds of meetings. Maybe you haven't been a part of them, Thabiti, I don't know. But the reality is this stuff has happened. You guys have said all kinds of things that are unbiblical, like white people apologize for, repent for killing Dr. King and stuff like that. Like all that kind of stuff. That's what's really at play. What's the definition of justice? What does the Bible have to say about justice? What is the church's role in justice? That's the debate. That's the real substantive debate. But Thabiti wants to make it about whether or not there's a movement defined by me. That's so irrelevant. That's number one. Number two, you see how he defines movement here? The social justice side of this debate fits almost all of those things. They've done almost all of those things. Maybe they haven't had a statement yet, but they've done almost everything else. Hundreds of hours of podcasts, conferences, and meetings, articles, sermon series. They have a lexicon replete with pejoratives and hashtags to mark out their perspective and those who share it. This is something that the social justice movement has done. The only thing they haven't done is produce a statement. Oh, wait, no, they did have a statement. It just wasn't that popular. So they've done all of these things. So even by Thabiti's own ridiculous definition of what a movement is, it still fits. It still fits. Oh, man. And then, he says, the pejorative, that's a problem, and he wants more grace. But he's calling Tom Askell crazy, a conspiracy theorist, and all of you. He's calling you Don Quixote. You're nuts. You're out of your mind. You're putting all this effort into something that's not even a thing. Lastly, here's what I'll say about this. And I'll end with this. This is a very interesting article. I think it's a strategic mistake for him. So y'all gotta help this brother. He doesn't know how the internet works. but furthermore, people on my side of this, people that are in the anti-social justice movement. Movement. We're a movement. Here's this. The fact that this article exists is such a gift because it shows you what worries Thabiti. It shows you that he actually thinks that the work that you're doing to expose the social justice movement, the people behind the scenes, the movers and shakers, the money, the meetings that they have, the pressure that they put on institutions, all the things that he says is wrong with us, he thinks it's been effective when we expose it on their side. And so he's going to pretend like it doesn't exist. He's giving us the playbook, what he fears. This is the thing. We are having a tremendous impact, and we need to keep doing what we're doing because Thabiti fears it so much that he wants to pretend like it doesn't even exist. He's telling us that this has been effective. Our movement has been effective in these areas, and he's exposing that. And so, to me, you don't take your advice on what to do, what strategies work the best, by the people that you're working against, your enemies in this debate. I'm not saying Thabiti has to be your enemy in general, but in the social justice debate, he's on the opposite side of this, the wrong side, the unbiblical side, the sub-biblical side, as we've documented over and over and over again. We've done it so many times. I mean, you can go to my YouTube channel, you can go to other YouTube channels, other podcasts, you can go to Founders Ministry. They've done a great job as well. The people that Thabiti's slandering here, they've done a great job. And so Thabiti's given us a gift, guys. Our content's about to get a lot more play because he's pretending like it's not a thing and it is a thing. Everybody can see it. And he's showing us the strategy that on our side that he thinks is working, because he's attacking that. He's attacking what he thinks is working. So I hope you found this video helpful. God bless.